So it's really easy to see who owes you money from the front screen, and if you go into Invoices OTU, but it's also really easy to see those overdue invoices. They're literally marked in red here, so your eye's drawn to it, and you can click onto here and come into those overdue invoices. You can also see the overdue as a whole from here. So you can see who's overdue. You can go into all and see all. You can even put it into a pie chart depending on how you like to see things. You can have it as a list or a pie chart, and you can also get into all, and it'll take you back to the statements where you can see everything as well. Now I'm going to come into here, so you can either come into it from here or from the front screen, and you can see all the overdue in red, and you can see how many days overdue they are. I personally prefer to see it like this, the oldest down to the oldest to the newest overdue. The one good thing is over here is we can see a couple of these haven't actually been sent, or a few of them haven't been sent. So that could be why they're not paying, because if you don't send them the invoice, they then can't pay the invoice. So that's my first port of call. I'd always then go in, tick these ones, and make sure they are sent to the customer. Again, this is in my way, so let's send. And they're now marked as sent. If you are printing them, I'm going old school and printing and giving them to them or posting them, literally you can press print and then you can put it as mark as sent. So if you're printing it to send somebody, you'd mark it as sent. If you're printing it because you still like to have paper records still, or you need to send it to your accountant, or I don't know why you'd want to send it to your accountant, because they can just go onto your Xero and look at it. But anyway, if there's another reason why you're printing it other than or generating the PDF, maybe you like a PDF copy in the file. If you keep all of your project details in a file, you may want to keep it all together in there. Whatever the reason is, if you're actually giving it to the customer, then you tick mark as sent. If you're not printing it to give to the customer, then leave it as it is. But in this case, we're going to print it and give to them because they're in the office. So we're going to mark it as sent, so we know we've given it to them. That has now generated, and it's now put it as marked as sent. What you can also do here is you can see here, and if you've got invoice reminders turned on, it'll also tell you up here how many reminders have been sent. And when all 4 of them have been sent, it will say all of them, it'll turn red as well. So you'll be able to see what has and hasn't been sent out to them as invoice reminders. These aren't turned on at the moment, so clearly they've not been sending, and it's demo as well, so they wouldn't have been sent. But it does tell you the numbers up here, which is quite cool, so you can see where they are in the sequence. You can pop on some details, so you can say, right, well, I've spoken to City Limousines, they've said they're going to pay me by next Friday, and you can pop a little note in here as well. They promised. Click save. So now you've clearly got here your expected date, and you can see, or anyone coming along can see that expected date as well. Now, a little bit cooler, if you're using an add-on that does your cash flow, for example, Float, we use Float. What it will do is Float connects to this, and it will see that it was due in this day, and it will just, as default, set it's coming in the day of when you run the Float projection. But if you add in the expected date, what it will do is it will then move that invoice to come in on that expected date rather than just next or today or tomorrow. So if you have got those apps working together, it does. They do talk to each other more than just sending the details. So yeah, little cool extra to note there. And then if you come into City Limousines, this invoice as well, what you'll see in the history and notes is you'll see that we've added that note. That note's been added spoke to them, they've promised payment, and they've also put in payment expected. So again, other people can come in and see this as well. So that's all there, easy for you to see, and it's a really great way of being able to keep on top of your my face is gone. Keeping on top of all your invoices and seeing what's overdue, who to chase, who not to chase. You can group these as well in companies. You can see them all together. So when you ring them up and see them, they're all together rather than trying to faff around and see which ones are which. But yeah, it's a really great way of being able to see at a glance your overdue, how overdue they are, and any details that you need ready for when you ring them up or email them to chase.